Welcome to You, Me and IT, the podcast taking us behind the title of some of the leading individuals in the IT channel. I'm Karlton Gray, UK and Ireland Channel Director at Schneider Electric, and in each episode I'll be speaking to some of the key people in one of the UK's most prominent industries. My guest in this episode is a maverick in the IT channel, who myself and many others adore. Welcome Andy Dickens, Director of Product Management at Misco.
Thanks, mate. You didn't tell me you were going to be nice about me. That's one thing I wasn't prepared for.
We've still got a long time to go, to be fair. To kick off, I just want to know, where did it start for you? So, and I'm not saying where are you from, what got you into here, education, basically everything. So for once, I'm going to ask you to talk and go.
I had the best childhood, really. I was like one of 4 kids. My mum's the best. Dad's all right too. Pretty kind of standard, playing out football with my brothers every day. I was always good at school but lazy. So I was smart but lazy. Went off to university. I really liked university. I did three degrees at uni. So I did an English degree, a law degree, and a master's in law. And started working in a law firm and realised that work was very different to academia. Moved around doing a couple of legal jobs. My wife, would have been my girlfriend at the time, is a doctor, and she would work long hours as a junior doctor then, and I was working tough hours, like going down to the course. I was working in Nottingham a lot as well, so I was travelling a lot. And still, to this day, never know how this person got in touch with me, but some sort of recruiter asked me about a job in IT sales. Don't know if they'd emailed me, called me, I can't remember. But I remember calling. It said it was on a low amount of money, but to me at the time seemed okay. But they said something about uncapped commission. I was like, I can definitely sell. I can sell. I remember calling my dad and saying, look, you've helped me a lot through uni financially. Would you be like okay with this if I like just ditched all of this law stuff and went to a job in IT sales? And my dad was sound. He was like, if that's what you want to do, son, go for it. So I went, did like a thing like Pareto law or something like that. You know, there was like days when they're like, who can build the best aeroplane, do all this? And I smashed that day. Went in for an interview at Misco.
You don't have a lot of self-belief, do you?
No, I'm crippling doubt. I'll get to a bit of a crisis of belief in a second, but I knew I'd smashed that day. You know when you come out of something, you're like, well, I bloody aced that.
Yeah.
Did an interview at Misco, the old Misco. Again, felt like I'd smashed it, and then didn't get a call back. And I remember kind of like, it just didn't sit right. I knew I'd killed it. And so I thought, well, if these are a sales company, you got to get on the phone. I'm going to show them I can sell. I'll sell myself. It's a good enough product. I can sell myself. So I called him. I says, look, I know I smashed this. Like, well, I need to speak to the person who's in charge. Could not get through to anyone for love nor money. Ended up getting through to Dave Fleck, who a lot of people know in the industry, who was doing some of the recruitment at the time, and saying, like, you know, what happened here? I came in, I interviewed. I know I was good. He was like, well, we think you're overqualified. You won't be interested in staying.
Yeah.
Like, can you let me make that choice? Like, all my job is to come in and do a good job. And then if I do, and you offer me a job, then it's down to me. Anyway, I managed to persuade him to hire me. And then started with there were about 60, 70 sales graduates at that time at Misco. And I remember, so bear in mind, 3 degrees. I was probably 24, 25 years old. I was a member of Mensa. I was a smart kid. And had been working in a law firm, and I was having myself. And I remember first day sitting down with 60 kids. You know, they were straight out of uni with a 2-2 in travel and tourism, and they were on £0, the same as me. They were the exact same pay, same job, on the same money for the month. I was no more important than any of them. And I remember thinking, like stuff has got real. My qualifications meant nothing. All that mattered was the number on the board. Not in like a negative way, like, oh, they didn't care about you as a person, but like, you know, ultimately that's what I'm judged by now. There's no that was the crisis of belief of like, well, I've left law now, so all my path to get there is like gone. And now everything I do now is going to be judged each month on what I'm doing now. And I remember kind of saying to myself, like, I'm going to be number one of these 60 people. If I make sure I'm number one every month, then
you're good.
Everything else will take care of itself. And Adrian Harrison will remember this. And Greg Pitt, who all three of us work together now, me, Greg and AD, we all work at Misco, and we were all in that cohort of, and there's loads more dotted throughout the industry. That group of academy people at the old Misco, all dotted throughout the industry. AD came second a couple of times, but that first spot was mine every month. And that kind of, from there, I knew, yeah, I can do this.
I've known you for years, and I didn't know that, by the way.
It's a good story, isn't it?
Well, it's okay. But so then a lot of people doubted you at the beginning because they just did. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just it was weird. But I obviously liked you because I thought you were the boss of Misco at the time because just to segue back before, my first day coming into Misco, I don't know if you remember, you were sat with your feet on the desk. I said to you, I was trying to be nice coming in. I knew Louise. I'd met Kelly before.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I came in my first ever day. I thought you were Adam. You had your feet on the desk. And I said, sorry, would you want, you just put your fingers up and said coffee, and then
no, it wouldn't have been quite like
it
that.
It was.
Would have been quite like that. It would have been with sharp coffee, please. I was brought with manners.
It was just coffee, and then our relationship kicked on from there. A lot of it was table tennis based, but our relationship kicked on.
One day I'll let you win as well at table tennis.
My sweaty legs. But yeah, just to sort of navigate back, because I appreciate there were some bumps in the road. So if we go back, because I've only known you from product management.
Yeah.
I never knew you when you was in sales. Yeah. So where did
you
that...
You wouldn't like me then either.
Very true. But how did it change?
Yes, myself and Greg were kind of plucked from obscurity by Adam, who you know well as well.
Yeah. Good
guy. Our MD now. He had two product areas that he wanted that were kind of his babies. One was refurb computing, which had always done really well and needed somebody who he could trust to do a good job on it, who's professional, who's smart, so he chose Greg for that. He had another part which was like consumer electronics, and we used to deal with a big shopping channel, and he wanted somebody who he knew didn't care about getting told no.
Yeah.
Didn't would be willing to make a stupid offer and not care. And so myself and Greg moved out of the grad sales team to go and work with Adam in product management. And as soon as I was doing it, I loved it.
Yeah.
I could see that it was my kind of gig. It was negotiating, which I liked. It was just everything I enjoyed doing. Especially that kind of stuff, which was like big deals. And
yeah.
It was just fun. And we were lucky in where we were, both myself and Greg. And probably I especially was lucky because when you say like, oh, people doubted you and stuff, I think I was just, you used to say to me, I don't like playing the game and changing the way I am. You used to say to me, you don't need to play the game, but you don't need to actively sabotage yourself. But I hated people being a certain way for management and then different. I used to go and sit with the grads who I was working with before and the rest of the sales team. I would never sit really with business management for lunch or anything like that. And so I just think I was quite different to the people that were around me.
Yeah.
But I like to think I'm the same now as I was then.
So,
although maybe some people would argue I've got a bit bougie myself. And
a lot bougie. So you were at Misco.
Yes.
And then what happened?
I got asked politely to do the dance.
Yeah.
So
I remember that day.
Made redundant. Yeah. And it was a tough time at the old Misco. Like there was clearly things happening. I think the Americans had made some decisions which had changed things. But there were some really good people. And I remember Antonia Dickinson, who was crying the day that I got
I remember you pulled me out.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people, as much as like I was quite different to a lot of people, I was quite well liked by a lot of people as well who enjoyed somebody being different. And Adam, it's even those who know him will know this is rare, but Adam showed some emotion too. He didn't like us to be what was happening, but it was the right thing. Like they had to make cost savings. Yeah. Plus, you say like you had some challenges. I never really think of them as challenges. That I'm a pretty you always know I'm a pretty level guy, but I would quite like to work in vendor anyway. Yeah. So I was probably ready to take that step to work into vendor world. So it sucked that day, but for the most part, like I was never thinking like, oh, this is the end. It was like I could have been quite lazy at times back then, but that gave me a kick to go do what was probably right to do next.
I think it's quite good because to chuck in the fact that you were made redundant and then you've kicked on, it shows that, and it was, you're trying to sugarcoat it, but I remember, no, I don't mean it like that. When you walked out, I remember sat on the corner desk, you walked through and you went, Carl, I need a fag. But that's...
I'm on with that, Matt.
But what I mean is you came out...
Needed a coffee.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's probably 10, 15 years ago.
But what
claim
I mean
it's the last one I ever had.
But what I mean is it was the step out. So it did have an impact.
Oh,
but
yeah. Like immediately, like it was like what am I going to do? And I do remember I had like a month or so then of like sat around eating cereal, looking at job sites. You like to think if you're good to people, in our industry especially, most things are who you know, aren't they? And like you're good to people, you dot around and people know your name a bit, then things will come up. And yeah, I sort of felt confident it would, whilst also being nervous that I think I got made redundant like a week after I'd proposed to me wife, so I was a bit like,
wow,
I was a bit nervy, it was a shock, but only took a little while for me to think like I'll be all right.
So that went on to Lars.
Good old Lars. Yeah, Lars was kind enough.
Great guy.
Lars Roman, who's another
great
industry legend.
Yeah,
anyone knowing this, Lars is like a lot of people that you see in our industry. In our industry, especially at vendor, you have to make an impression for yourself. And so you're a big, huge personality. But when you get to meet a lot of these people, they're sweethearts.
Yeah, lovely guy.
Yeah, Lars was a sweetheart and was good enough to offer me the chance to come work with him with T1A, which was a brilliant grounding because they didn't have a load of resellers that they were working with. Lars did a great job with a group of people that knew him well.
Yeah.
But trying to get into resellers with a product that not everyone wanted to sell. It's different now with like focuses on sustainability and stuff, but back then it was a lot harder. That was good to face some rejection and
yeah. It was I remember it was you went from basically buying stuff, people were coming in and saying, please can you, and I'm not saying it like that, but you almost became overnight, you were the salesman from being the customer, and it was like, wow, like how do I?
And it was proper salesmanship. Like it wasn't like, everyone buys APC, don't they? So you're just going to be all kind and friendly, and then you're fine. But not everyone bought refurb notebooks and desktops, so it was sales.
I think, did I get you the job at Iyama?
You'd have to ask Steve Kilroy.
Yeah,
it's good actually to get this on record because you always say that you were instrumental in doing it.
Do you know what? I did because I contacted Steve on your behalf.
So Steve Kilroy, who's another, we're racking up the Steve Kilroy, what a man.
Yeah.
We still message from time to time now. But
that guy, I always wanted to emulate him before I got to. I always loved the fact that, and this is a shout out to Steve. I used to look at Steve, and he was so, I don't mean it in a bad way, unassuming, but he sat in the background, and you wouldn't know he was the boss.
No. And people still would say
he's
that.
still there, grafting with everyone else. And I've always said it. I'll always be the guy that puts a APC T-shirt on. I'm not too big to, and I think he was like the guy for that. He was like background, but actually, if you needed him, bang, he knew what was going on. He knew the product. He knew who to speak to. He had all the relationships, but he allowed you to be free, if that makes any sense. So
since he's got good account managers now, so we don't need to do that. He could take his feet up. He's got a group of like brilliant account managers at Iyama. But Steve, I remember, used to call me and moan at me for going to see too many customers, and he was like the first person I've lived having as a boss telling me like work-life balance, like from the other side, that he would say, you need to not do that. I was horrendous at doing my expenses. I'm still not great now, but he would be like, don't go and see a customer on Friday, stay at home, do your expenses, get your stuff together. Steve cared about you as a person.
Yeah.
And that company were wonderful to me.
Yeah.
Wonderful to me. Iama, this is wonderful. And they, I mean, going to them, who's a product that everyone wanted from T1A, was, I thought I had the best job in the world that I could stay in for the rest of my life. And brilliant company, brilliant people. And they were very good to me.
Just to say, but I also got you your job there. I got Jake his job there as well. Just to throw it in there, just letting you know. So, right,
Jake's good enough. He could work anyway.
Yeah, I know Jake's fantastic. All of these people, great guys and great people.
We talked before about like we could do a channel recruitment for the amount of people we know that we've kind of had a word in people's ears to get.
I think
that's nice. I think me and you recognise good people and you want to see good things happen to good people. And so I'll always, and I take it as a point of pride that a lot of people, if they're either thinking about leaving somewhere, they want
come and ask you.
They'll come speak to me. Either what do you think about that company, or do you know anyone? It's a level of trust that people have got in me on my opinion, but also they know that I'm not going to tell people, so they trust that I'm a trustworthy person. Me and you spoke about it before. We both have that same thing where
I want people to do good. I think I enjoy watching people grow. I enjoy watching them go through that hardship.
As long as they not go past me.
Yeah, but what I mean is that's part and parcel of, I think, becoming a leader. And actually what I like about...
Do you know, honestly, I don't think of myself as a leader. Like I can't ever...
I know, it's imposter syndrome, because I think where we've come from and where you've got to, I think when you look around and you used to look at the CRNs and you see all those people on stage and you're like, oh, I wonder what it's like to be like those. At APC Schneider, do you know what I super love about our business is I've had loads of conversations with salespeople when I was on the road going up and down, and they would be sat there going, I'm hitting 180%, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'd be like, oh, fair play, because I don't hate on people. I think, you know what, if you're doing that,
enough out there for everyone, and
but go for it. Like it's when everyone's got out of the room, they then come to me and go, any jobs at your place? And I think if it's so incredible at your firm, why are you asking me if there's any jobs? And it's similar to Iama as well. Like there's certain manufacturers that there is an element of care. There is an element, like when I was ill, like I had so many people come around me inside like the channel, but in my business as well, like that came and sort of went, don't worry, we've got you. And I think sometimes knowing that you're able to make mistakes and you're able to have these people around you that have got your back makes life so much more bearable. And I think that's super important. Just to sort of close off this part of it, but where are you now? What does your role mean? Like what? Because you say director of product management.
I don't say anything. That's what you said. But yeah, I'm back at Misco. So Adam, not at Iama now. I know this is a bit of a good promo for Iama.
Yeah,
they are a brilliant company. But I could have. As I say, I could have stayed there. I thought I could stay there for the rest of my career, but then Adam, who we spoke about earlier, got in touch with me to say that kind of a small regional supplier who both of us supported because people work with people, and Adam were there.
I got you a job there as well, just an FYI. Just quickly, I'm like Christ, I've done well for you, but God.
They were buying the IP of the old Misco to kind of rejuvenate it, and it was like an opportunity I couldn't turn down to build what I worked for previously. So I run the product management team, business management team, people call it what they want to call it, but we manage the between me and the guys in the team, we manage the suppliers and the vendors, and back doing what I always enjoyed doing. Yeah.
You're proud to work there as well, I think.
Yeah, I'm proud of what we do. Myself, Greg, Russ, Daz, Holly and Grossi, like we do a very good job at making Misco the best place for vendors to work in the industry. Like if you speak to vendors around, everyone loves working with Misco. Like we do a very good job at making. I wanted to build something that was the reseller I wanted to work with when I was at vendor.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. I do think we do a good job. So I am proud of it. I am proud of what we do. Proud of the numbers that go where they are. I'm proud of like a number of my colleagues who I think are exceptional at what they do. Like I am proud of what we do, and I'm proud of like where I am and what I do. I don't mind saying that.
Yeah,
I do a good job. I'm good at my job.
Yeah, I think it's nice to see some of the people I truly care about, like yourself, Adam. There's hundreds basically that work there now. I'm not saying that I was part of the furniture to a certain extent. And
I thought you were going to try and take credit for something else.
No,
as well,
but I just watched it grow, and it was nice to sit back and almost.
It's been mad, hasn't it?
Yeah, it
like
has been to go from there to where it is now.
Yeah.
So I suppose for you, what's the definition of success?
I'm not a thinker like that, really. I'm a short-term goals person.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Like I want us to, if I'm honest, I pick the reseller above us and I'm like, right, I want to be bigger than them.
Yeah.
And then when we get to them, I pick the next one.
No,
and I tick them off.
What's success for you, though?
Me personally.
What does it mean from I know you say short term, I always think of short term, and I'm showing my age, but the series called Hustle, and you had Mickey, and then you had the other guy, Danny, and one was looking after long and a short. But for me, it's more around who are you? Like, what's successful from you, like personally?
I think you know this is what I'm not massive money motivated.
No, I know.
So I'm not like.
You do tell me that you earn more money sometimes.
Well, it's important for me to have more than you.
Yeah.
But
just
it's important for me to have more than you. But I'm not. I don't really care. I've got enough money. Yeah. I honestly don't really think about it. Like I've got 3 like mega kids who are all brilliant and nightmares in their own way. I'm a pretty happy guy. Like I'm not someone who's I've got to do this, I've got to do that. I'm a pretty content person.
Yeah.
Like I just get up, want to be the best dad I can, do the best job I can at work, try and be a better husband.
Yeah.
And the other 2 I'm already pretty good at. The husband part, still working on. I don't have any like burning desires other than to make Misco the best they can be, to make Team Dickens, like my house, the best we can be. I feel like I'm good. I'm not, which probably is like ultimately, I guess, what success is for most people. If you can wake up in the morning and be pretty happy with where you're at, I don't know why I need to strive for anything else.
I think, I don't disagree with that. Behind every man is a great mate, and I respect the help that I've given you throughout your journey today.
Taking credit for my success as well. That's fine. Treat yourself,
mate. Why not?
Yeah.
So I suppose, what are the hurdles that you feel like you're maybe now, or previous now, and then in the future? What do you foresee? I want to know about the history almost of
difficulties I did have. I'm horrendous at admin. Horrendous. I'm like a think, impulsive, do.
Yeah.
Need a team of 30 people mopping up after me.
Yeah.
Horrendous at admin. I was always horrendous at admin. And I think fitting into a big company culture, which the old Misco was, I wasn't ready for that. But that was equally really good grounding to make me better at some of that stuff. I'm still not like
I've seen
Captain Admin, but I'm a lot better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my desk. Yeah. I'm, these kind of clear desk, clear mind people, they have fit at me, and seeing 92 unread WhatsApp groups.
Yes.
I deal with what's on top of the pile. Like, I like being overly busy. Yeah. I like things coming in and people knowing I might not get to every email, but if they come into my office, they've got my undivided for 10 minutes or however long they're in for, which they will always have. If somebody comes into my office, I'm not answering things. Like, we're going to deal with whatever we're dealing with. That would have been the challenge then, fitting into a big company and thinking like I had to take on the world and beat the world in one go. Currently, the challenge is I think when you're in a relatively senior position, I'm not going to say I'm.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of demands on your time, and managing that and making sure I'm still a good employee and good at what I do best, which is the relationship stuff.
Yeah.
Whilst making sure I'm the best dad I can be and husband and like being available for my kids and my wife is hard. That is hard, and I've not managed that yet. Making sure I match both of those.
Yeah.
I want to be better at that. Especially we've got our youngest. We've got 3 under 6, and our youngest is about 4 months old, and it's not easy knowing that I'm not going to be back for bath time, and Elle's going to do 3 kids on her own. I feel rubbish about that. But then I can't say no to everything. I've got to be out at these things at some, I know that some people I'll call to tell I can't make it to something. They think I'm kind of pieing them a bit, and it's not the case. It's just, my family is first, and it's difficult. So that's my current challenge, and I've not navigated yet how to do it. And that'll get easier as the kids get a bit older.
It doesn't.
It's going to get a bit easier because they won't be 4 months forever. And then in the future, I don't know the future. I mean, you wouldn't have known what your biggest challenge was going to be if somebody asked you 5 years before that. Like, I hope I don't have the same challenge as you, but who knows? Like, anything happens. Like, A, been pretty fortunate that not too many bad things have really happened to me. And B, I am genuinely a pretty content person. Again, a lot of people watching this will think I'm a miserable bugger, but
they're not. I think they would say an erratic bugger, but
but I'm level-headed inside. I'm never too high, never too low. Like I like things done a certain way, my way, and done immediately.
Yeah.
But I'm never too.
I think
up or down.
I think I've learned, and not to be too morose or deep. And I've said it a few times, but you've got to live while you're living. And I think the other day, sorry to bang on, but when I won an award.
Did you win an award?
Yes, another one. But sometimes I sat back and thought...
You should thank whoever did the video thing for you.
No, this was another one.
Oh, it was another one. Okay. So I can't take any credit for your stuff. That's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But what I mean by that is I'm living in the moment at the moment, and there's loads of hurdles people go, and mine's different to yours, to someone else's, and there's always someone worse off out there. But I look back and I think, what have I achieved and what have I done? And the places I've been, the people I've met, and all the stuff that the IT channel brings to you, and what Schneider has done with me, what Midwich have helped me with. And I think...
Another good company.
Yeah, great company. I came from... I'm not saying it's bad.
Used to manage them.
But my best...
No phone signal, but other than that, good.
But what I mean by that is it doesn't necessarily... Working in Norfolk, I'm from Norfolk. Well, I'm not. I'm from London, but I live in Norwich, and I have
got some mates who wouldn't.
They would have kicked off about that. Yeah. But what I mean is, it's you're a master of your own destiny, and I think that we talk about equality and diversity and all those sort of things, and at the IT channel historically has been men, I would say. White men like yourself, right? Well, I'm mixed race, but
I'm everything that's wrong with them.
But what I mean by that is, you've got to take the positives. I used to think, like, I've never thought that because my mum brought me up a different way. She brought me up to be.
I think it's why we got on as well. Like, we come through and come up together, didn't we? And I think both of us, like, even when we started and we were little rats, really, we both thought, like, we can take on the world and we can do this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think either of us thought there were a barrier for.
No,
being northern and like talking all like loud,
bald.
Well, we both got that.
I wasn't at the time, but
yes,
what I mean,
you were.
Maybe.
What would your hair have been like then?
It's like a weird crop. But
I wouldn't have been you, mate.
But what I mean by that is, there's certain things that, like, around that diversity piece and stuff like that have actually helped me, because when I walked into a sales floor, shout out to Dad, Hardy, like, but everyone knew who I was straight away. It was easier to pick me out. At Midwich, if you were a vendor and you came into that office, and they said, I want to speak to the guy in a blue shirt or a white shirt, and it was everyone, they said, I want to speak to the black guy over there, it made them comfortable entering.
People did dare say that. But my relationship with you affected and probably shaped most of my feelings on the diversity stuff. Even now, like, I'll talk to some people who I get on with it, and I struggle with some things that I consider to be like tokenism.
Yeah.
And I always used to say, my best mate in the industry, Karlton, is not the best black account manager in IT. He's the best account manager in IT. And it would have annoyed me if I felt like you were, or if there were people who thought he's getting this because he's black. And sometimes, like, I think having a million different subcategories, I understand why people need to do it for representation, but I used to get like offended on your behalf, like it would, like it was. Do you know what I mean?
But I didn't want to be, and my mum, like I said, has driven that into me. Is don't be the best mixed race. Or be the best person.
Yeah.
Try your best, irrelevant of your whatever it is in the background. Try to be the best version of you that you can be. And I think as long as you're honest with yourself, and everyone tells white lies, everyone. But
mixed race lies.
Sorry, mixed race lies. But that's really good, actually.
It's really good. You can keep that in.
But as long as you're open and you're there to sometimes be shot at, but leave a little bit of yourself on the table.
Yeah, I
tell
agree.
my team all the time, leave a bit of yourself on the table, because if you don't, people don't know who you are. People, I think at
you
first
can see insincerity, can't you?
Everyone knew me Karlton from Midwich, and then now it's Karlton from ABC.
Yeah.
And I think when I put something out online or anything, there's this amazing community that comes out and says, well done, mate, or amazing. Or, do you know what I mean? It almost feels like another family within within your family. And I think sometimes people don't see that. And I think it's such a great place to work, but you have to put the time into it, because you get what's the term?
You get out what you put in.
Yeah. And I think as long as you do that and you continue to do that,
I agree with all that. There are some difficulties though. Like, I think you deal with these better than me, but our job, and part of our job, is being personable and friendly. So you end up with a load of contacts that are friends, but to any degree of things, but you have a good relationship with them. Now, I've not had to deal with this personally, but you've gone through a big personal issue.
Yeah.
Where there will have been a whole host of people who will have felt like they have good relationships with you, who will have probably wanted to reach out and give you some sort of support.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have had that conversation 90 times with people that aren't my close friend. I mean, I don't have many close friends. I keep it. But like, do you know what I mean? And that idea of like, yes, we have good relationships within the industry, but they're not your family. And so I think I would have struggled having to do what you did, pick the phone up 90 times to people talking about something that's really personal. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, we keep saying the personal. Let's call it what it is, cancer.
Yeah.
Right? But when I was diagnosed with that, it was tough.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah.
I spent many a time on the phone. You came to my house. But
tried to get your golf clubs off you.
You did actually try to steal my golf clubs off me. Thank you very much. He's not there. I have these.
If you're hard dying, can I have these?
But the way that I deal with things, everyone's different. Like, I was speaking to a guy yesterday on message, and he's going through some struggles as well. And I find that I'm able to talk from their lens a little bit.
Yeah.
But I tend to share a little with a lot.
Yeah.
So the way that my coping mechanism is to let a little bit out. People like you may be slightly different, because I'll talk more open book with it. But actually talking helps. And I think you don't need to spill your guts. You may want to, but everyone says you need to go to counselling. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do this. And ultimately, you need to do what's best for yourself. And for me, my way of dealing with this and with what it is I share a little bit, and I get so much back from when I'm talking to someone who is suffering or something like that, and they go, Christ, how do you deal with this? And I go, well, you can do this, this, and this, but it's up to you. And I can, when someone says, I would do this, and they have no perception or they don't understand what's going on at all. And like I said, everyone's different. But being able to just say, don't worry about it, mate.
Yeah. Was it never tiring for you on the other side that were people, how are you doing? Like, kind of, they know a bit about it, but you...
I think after doing podcasts and talking out loud and doing that, it does. I'm knackered by the end of it, because you're holding the emotion, the weight. But actually, I suppose it's a good segue. It's, what is your legacy like? And I think this podcast was going to be called Legacy Something Else. And
it's not very catchy.
No, it's not.
Legacy Something Else.
Yeah. But what I mean is, how do we, for me, what is like your legacy? What do you leave behind? Because when, I suppose the question to you, like, what do you want your legacy to be?
I don't really care about a professional legacy.
Good.
Like, at all, really.
No.
I just want my kids to be happy. I do things as they happen. So I don't think about like what things will be. If I can, I'm not, believe it or not, I'm not arrogant enough to think I'm big enough to leave a big legacy. I think there are certain things on an individual level where I'd like to think people know, or would know from me, that you have a fancy word in your title don't mean you have to speak fancy.
Yeah.
I'll always stand by that. And I don't think you have to treat people differently. I think you can, like you say, put your T-shirt on and go and help.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do much helping of people packing up, but the point, broadly speaking, remains, I can honestly say I don't care about a professional legacy. Like, I will do my job as well as I can every day until I finish doing my job.
Yeah.
Once I finish doing my job, I don't think I'll ever look at it again. With that said, I don't know if I'll ever retire, because I'm respected at work.
Yeah.
I go home and I'm not. But I can, hand on heart, say I don't care. And then I know last year my two brothers went golfing with my dad.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I want to be able to take my kids. I want my kids to want to go and do stuff like that with me when they're grown up. That's about it. Like, I don't really have any aspirations. Like, if my kids still want to hang out with me when they're adults, I feel like I've done a pretty good job.
I think they'll want to hang out with Jono, to be fair.
Yeah, they're all good, Jono. Yeah. If they know what's good for him.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
But what would be the 3 things you would describe yourself as, and what would the 3 things that other people would describe you as?
Maybe you could do the 3 things other people would. What I would describe as honest, like brutally.
Yeah.
I think perceptive. I think when people talk to us and stuff, I can usually see what they're saying or see what is going on. I don't think people would think that of me.
Yeah.
But actually, lots of people within the industry come down to my office, not just because I've got a nice sofa, but they'll come and talk to me and nearly always end up talking about their personal stuff, because business is personal and personal is business. But loads of people talk to me about their personal stuff.
Yeah, same.
I'm pretty good at seeing what's going on. I think people as well know that I'll tell them my honest opinion, and so I think people respect that. Confident, I suppose, it'd have to be the third one.
Really? Really?
I suppose it'd have to be the third.
But
I think it's because I know that I don't put value in what people in this industry think of me. My value is like what my family think of me. And so if I don't really care, like, why am I going to be nervous? Like, if I know I'm doing a good job and I do a good job, and I don't have to worry, do you know what I mean? I think that's where my confidence comes from.
I think as long as you're doing, and I say it to my team, as long as you're doing the right thing and you feel you're doing the right thing, I don't mind if you make a mistake.
That's what I'm saying,
Because if you're doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing, you're not...
Different thing.
And that's fine. Well, that's not fine, should I say. But as long as you're saying things and there's no malice behind certain things.
Yeah.
I've been pulled on stuff before. I didn't mean to be rude or say, but it's a lesson learned.
Yeah.
So I think it's part and parcel of who you are.
I just think like I really don't put much stock in people's opinion of me. or in people's opinion in general. Like if I think I do the right thing, as in like what I morally think's right, and I turn up and I do what I think is a good day's work.
Turn up is good for you, because I would say late is one of your core values.
It might be, but like, you know,
Yeah.
I know with you, like if I need you, you'll be there, and I think you know the same with me. And so like I don't really care too much more about anything else.
No, you care about people, and and I think that is.
Don't know if you think that's like a fair
I think
opinion
there's
of me.
an Andy and there's a Dickens, and they're two different people.
You like to call me both occasionally.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things I like to call you as well, but Turk and JD is a great. But I think for you, it started off as who's this guy?
Yeah,
I was intrigued by you. Over the multiple games of table tennis, I think we built a solid friendship. And for me, it's a pleasure to call you my friend.
Bit deep, that Karlton. Hit me off guard. You started with a nice one, and then.
But yeah, it is a pleasure.
No, it's mutual, man. You know, I'd do anything for you. Like there aren't, like I said to you before, I don't go. You have lots and lots of acquaintances in this industry. I don't think you have many friends, and you would be absolutely one of my friends. Like,
I've got your jobs anyway, so when you're next looking for the next role,
I hope this is the first time you've cried on one of these. I'll take pride in that.
No, I've not cried, mate. There's no tears that have gone. They're not. But
zoom in now.
But I just think there's some special people in the IT industry. There will be change all the way, but
that's all love, always.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cheers.